Tennessee homestead. How'd that cry today? Yeah, I'm doing great. Wanted to tell you guys, I'd had one issue of the video. Hopefully not the last one I put up, but the one where I came out against with the stats from the virus. Recheck that again. It's holding true. The death per 1,000 hasn't changed. Although I ran across the deal to where they were trying to flag videos and stuff like that based on one article that was done, that whenever they checked it, Reuters had checked it and put it out that it was not true. And when you read their article about why it's not true, apparently in the month of November, the last month, they had taken figures that was from like November 3rd or something like this. But their article didn't come out for a week or two after. And the numbers had changed. They were listing out totals. And their numbers came out the CDC numbers came out like 23 or 24,000 higher through the month of November. Well, that got them tagged as, even though it's just really a technicality, it got it tagged as untrue. I went and immediately double-checked my numbers. They have remained true because I wasn't counting heads. I was just looking at what the CDC put out as deaths per 1,000 population. And if you go back and look at that video, and I'll put a link to it down here, understand, it seemed to jive, just doesn't seem to jive. So that you have to ask why. Played a very large political role. If these, and I can't hardly believe that these doctors and politicians and all that are so foolish that they can't look at those numbers and see the same thing. You have a chart put out by the CDC that goes back like years, decades, that tells you per 1,000 people in this country what the death rate was, how many people died that year. It's kind of like cordwood, folks. I'm trying to put it in a nicer term. Only so many pieces of wood get buried every year. And they got to be a little cautious with that, because there's got to be, if somebody wanted to really do in-depth research on numbers, you could go back and start checking state by state, county by county, their death records. How many people died in 1978, and calculate your own numbers. So you can't hide that part of it. So many people have death certificates issued and are buried. And now they're at the point, now, doesn't mean that you can't say what they died from, okay? I can say that in 1978, everybody that died was from a meteor falling out of the sky and hitting them dead in the head. If I was any kind of a medical authority, well, I could have some bearing, but wouldn't be necessarily true. When you start looking at, we have so many people expire every year. Every year. There's a number that goes with that. And it's been going on for a long time. And yes, it fluctuates a little bit depending on how bad your flu season that was year, because flu takes out a lot of young, very young, and very old people every year, folks, every year. Matter of fact, you see some of these viruses that went around that were so light that it was kind of fascinating. It was like, wow, it was a good flu season. Okay, and some not so much. Is that Hong Kong flu? That took out over 200,000 people in this country. 20 million worldwide. Pretty nasty flu. And the death rate showed that. 9.6, 9.8, something like that. We'll give out bad information here. 9.5 per 1,000. But that totaled up to be 200,000 people. See how that would work? Now, our normal has been around 8.6. 8.6, 8.8, somewhere along in there. Pretty normal. You would expect about a point, at least 1.5, to cover 300,000 people that were additional. So that tells you that out of that group, some were getting labeled, would still be here on planet Earth if not for this disease. I'm sure there was a few, because flu takes out a lot of people every year. And that's what this is. It's a flu. So they could have had no other problems in their little lives, and the flu just took them right out. Happens every year. And now we're back in another lockdown, or so they say. I said it before and I'll say it again. I shall not comply. I am not afraid of the virus. Lord, my doctor said I'm immune to it. So I'm really not afraid of it, but I wasn't afraid of it before. I've had the flu in the past. Matter of fact, here's one for you. Guess what? I was one of those kids that carried the Hong Kong flu back over here, okay? Yeah, sick as a dog from it. I thought I was going to die. That was a rough one. And I was a young, strapping lad. Survived it. Wake up, America. Wake up. This lockdown nonsense is just that. It's just nonsense. And it's destroying this country. And it makes me wonder why. And every one of you need to be out there finding out why. Don't let them BS you. Matter of fact, when they were talking about all the people we had to put on respirators, yeah, and then they found out that the respirators was causing problems with the upper respiratory infection, and probably took some people out. Yeah, they got you off the respirator, just put you on oxygen. I had started this thing off with, why does the media seem to be really heck bent for Greyhound to panic people? I mean, everything was like, oh, it's like you go outside, take a deep breath, you're going to fall down dead. Stay in your house, keep a plastic bag over your head. Didn't make any sense. And I think it was a large part political. It was an election year. And we have seen the Democratic governors in a lot of these states who have shown you the definition of tyrants. And I'm hoping the Democratic Party doesn't think that this is going to continue. So it's time to stand up. If you want to live in a constitutional republic, you better get ready to stand up. I was kind of hoping to slip out of here before you had to stand up and play American again, but it looks like it's may not be the case. And trust me, these governors who think they're little tyrants, what you're going to learn is, when it really comes down to push to shove, your cops are probably going to walk away and then, go ahead. Because they're not going to risk their lives for you. Just not going to do it. After all, you've rewarded them so well. You funded them. Tell them to stand there and get screamed at and bottles thrown at their heads. They don't owe you anything. Wake up. Smell the coffee. This is America. The British thought it was going to be easy to whoop too. Found out we weren't. I'm going to tell you something that most of you never did combat experience, so you'd have no clue. You do know that the most dangerous person on the battlefield is the person who's fighting for his land and his family and his freedom. And then they become really dangerous when they figure all the odds are against them. And they're going to die for that cause. And once they commit that to their mind, they are extremely dangerous. You're playing a dangerous game out there. We are a constitutional republic. If you don't like constitutional republics, man, you're living in the wrong place. If you want a socialist type thing, Sweden, Denmark, head at it. If you're looking for a communist, you got Red China. I don't think Putin would take you in. You guys look like a big pain in the butt to him. But you can surely find yourself some little third world communist country to go live in. Ain't gonna happen here. Not without a heck of a little turmoil going on. Okay. And it's coming. And you better stop it. Constitutional Republic. Remember that. And let's get back to it. This is Rick, Disney Homestead. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Yeah. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.